Hello everyone, welcome to my video. Today we are going to be talking about meta-based thinking, which is a kind of philosophy that I have towards making decisions and achieving goals. So I hope you find it helpful. We're going to talk about strategy and how to think better and make better decisions and be more successful. And I just thought I'd also say we like to stream on Twitch. So if you are interested in watching me live broadcasting, you can see me at twitch.tv/bhealer21. Leave me a follow. I'd really appreciate it. So, okay. What does meta mean? So meta comes from Greek and it means beyond or after. So for example, the word metaphysics means after physics or beyond physics. So it'd be something like, the supernatural or beyond reality or something like that. You don't need to worry about the Greek meanings in this video because the kind of meta we're talking about is actually the term used in gaming, which means most effective tactics available, or simply best strategy. So yes, we will focus on meta, the capital version here that I've listed, and that is about winning or achieving goals. So if you hear a gamer talking about the meta in a game, they're talking about the best strategies, the most common strategies, the ones that are proven and tested and that work well. But the meta doesn't have to only apply to gaming. It can apply to anything in your life, right? You can structure it into hierarchies, to tier lists, for example. So how do we use meta thinking? Well, meta thinking is about goals. So the first step is you need to do your research. You need to discover what you want and why. So if you don't have a goal, you need to get one. And you want to figure out all the why questions in the beginning, because if you're stuck wondering why later, you're gonna get stuck. You're gonna be paralyzed. You won't be able to move. You won't be able to take action. So know what you want, know why, and you want to make sure that you're moving in the right direction first. Now, I can't tell you what that direction should be. It can be really specific. It can be kind of general. We'll get more into goals later. But then part two, right? Choose the goal. So you're kind of discovering some options. You're thinking about why you would choose that, and then you choose it, right? And the choosing it part is really important because it's like saying that you're getting started. Getting started is very important. And then you're gonna have to make sacrifices for your goal. Your goal is going to require a lot of effort, and so it's gonna take time, right? Time that you could spend on some other goal. It's going to take money, you're going to maybe lose friends, or your social status will be affected. It might be hard on you emotionally. You might have depression or anger or frustration or sadness trying to achieve your goal. And these are barriers. You need to exchange, you need to give in order to get, basically. And the other thing would be number 4, which is to don't stop pushing. You can't give up, right? Even if your goal is really hard, if you keep trying genuinely hard, you'll make progress. And maybe you don't achieve the absolute highest level, but maybe you achieve a level that still, makes you feel satisfied. You can always do better. You can always make more sacrifices, depending on how important your goal is to you. Here we'll talk about some examples of goals. So your goal should be measurable with a clear achievement point. It shouldn't be fuzzy or related to something abstract, such as emotions. So when you start choosing your goal, you want it to be something concrete. And a very simple example would be winning a game. Now, why is that a good goal? Well, because you can measure it, right? You know if you win or you lose the game, and there might be some reward for winning. The game could really be some type of competition in your life. It doesn't have to be, a video game, a board game, or whatever. It could just be like, it could be something business related, or it could be something to do with, your social life. But, it's important just to note that Like there's a point in that like when you hit it, you can check it off and say, okay, I've hit the goal. So for example, if you get a job, that would be like hitting a goal and you can measure it. You can say, okay, we got it and we're working now. Or losing weight, you can actually measure how much weight you're losing with a scale. So then like what's a bad goal? Well, a bad goal is usually something that has to do with your emotions, something in your head only, right? We're interested in goals that affect the external world, that are outside of just our bodies. So if you just want to have fun or feel good, these are not things that you shoot for. These are not things that are really that you're going to be making lots of sacrifices for, you know? These are just kind of cheap feelings. And then the other thing in the bad goals would be to not have a goal at all, which would be apathy. Now, obviously, if you don't have a goal, you're not going to be working hard to achieve something. And I mean, if you don't want to achieve anything, you'll just kind of not go anywhere. So you should have goals. You should make a goal. You know, you should focus on it, or else you're just not going to go anywhere. We have some exceptions, though, to the emotional goals. So, for example, bad emotions or medical conditions, things like depression, illness, disease, maybe impair you, make it harder to work on a good goal. So if you have these kinds of problems, you should try to work on them first. And these exceptions are good goals. So a lot of people have depression, and if you're depressed all the time, it's going to be hard for you to win, or get a job, or care about goals. You know what I mean? So you should try to fix that, and then you can move on to the next step, which should be achieving greatness. You could always try to just deal with your depression and still work on the good goal. And then maybe when you win the game or get the job, for example, that will help cure your depression. So in some cases, the cure is to work on the good goals anyway. But I don't know, maybe it's a little more complicated than that and you need some medical attention. So next we're going to talk about really what we're getting at here with this video. So meta means best strategy, right? So if you're a meta thinker, this means you are maximizing efficiency in achieving your goal. Efficiency is the key word here. The meta choice, the meta strategy, is the one that gets to the goal the fastest and the easiest. And if there's any sort of thing that gets in the way that makes it slower or more difficult, maybe the strategy can be improved. And then that's a good thing to do, is to keep fixing and improving your strategy. So when you're trying to achieve your goal, you try things, right? Perform tests, trial and error. You see what works, what doesn't work. You scrap the things that don't work. You keep the things that work. You still try new things, and you keep mixing your formula like a scientist. You don't let emotions affect your formula. You look at the data, you look at the numbers, the science, the results, the experiments, and you keep trying to improve your formula. When you keep working on your formula, it'll start to become great. And that's when you have a magic formula. You can start with a formula that someone's already created, and you can improve it, for example. You can make it your own. You could just straight up copy a magic formula that's already very good. That's fine. But just know that if the formula is not working well, you should change it. And you should be understanding that you're trying to achieve your goal. And so you need the best tools for the goal. And now we're going to get into one of the main barriers to the meta strategy, which is fun, your emotions, how you feel. You can't let this get in the way of goals. So we have a yin-yang symbol here, right? Symbolizing the orderly, structured, focused thinking of the meta thinker, and then the kind of empty-minded fun seeker in black who doesn't really have a goal, just is looking for some cheap feel. So if you're a meta thinker, you care about winning. You care about getting to the finish line. But if you're just in it for fun, well, maybe you're okay with losing. You're okay with whatever happens, pretty much. And if you're a meta thinker, you have a clear goal. And if you're in it for fun, you don't have a goal. You're just in it for whatever. Just trying to feel good, which is just not a long-term play. So if you're a meta thinker, you're going for the long term, right? You're working hard, you're making sacrifices, you're working on your strategy, your formula. And if you're in it for fun, you're not doing that. Maybe you just take some very quick, explosive formula and you use that and haha, and then it's done, right? But the meta thinker is going to improve his formula and make it so good that it's better than 100 of the fun formulas. The satisfaction you get is better than the fun formula. And that's why the meta formula is expensive, because it's hard to make. It takes time, sacrifice, energy, love, and the fun formula is cheap because, well, it burns fast and it's gone quickly. And so that's why the meta thinker is intelligent, because he knows that his work will pay off and it'll be worth it. And the fun thinker is not thinking. He's stupid. He just is in it he doesn't even know. He's wasting his time and he's dying, right? He's just killing himself. And so now we're kind of getting into some of the difficulties that people have with the meta, which is that you can become a slave to the meta ideology. And now this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when you know what the best strategy is, it makes it hard to change the formula, right? And so you just kind of have to use the formula. It's really hard to make a new formula. It's a lot easier to take a formula that works and improve on it a little, but to make a completely new one is, well, it's very hard. And many, many, many people want to do this. They want to make a completely new formula. I don't recommend this because while you might have more freedom and more creativity, you're going to fail, most likely, a lot. And so if you care about speed and efficiency, you don't do this. You might do that if you're just trying to have fun or you're just experimenting, but you will lose sight of your goal the more creative you try to be. And so you should copy other people and tweak their strategies, their formulas, and make it your own. That's what's most effective. I'm not saying that you can't be creative, but that's not the meta. So the meta is less creative, but it's going to be more effective in winning, in getting the goal. So just remember that. And then last, the meta studies the enemy. Because when you're only concerned about getting to your goal and improving your strategy, you'll do whatever it takes to improve. So you'll see what everyone else is doing. You'll see what's working, what's not working. You'll see what the meta people are doing, and maybe you'll use that. And you'll see what the fun people are doing, and you won't use that. Or maybe you'll see what the fun people are doing that actually worked, and you'll try it. You'll see what the meta people are doing, and you'll see how you can fight it, or maybe how you can bend it, But if you're just in it for fun, you're not actually concerned about the meta. You're fine with losing. You're fine with losing everything. It's like you don't care. And so it's kind of like the villain that always loses. He might have his fun for a little bit, stealing or killing or, partying. But the meta is like the superhero that works hard to get the job done, That's pretty much it, right? It's hard to be a meta thinker, to follow the meta, but it's worth it, and I hope that you can use it in your life somehow. It's one of the things I've had to learn in my life that has been very difficult, because I like to have fun, right? Everyone does, but if you're just having fun, it's not going to get you anywhere. You need to think about like the external world outside of yourself and how you're affecting it, what you can get from it, what you can give to it. And it's kind of like external, whereas the fun is kind of just internal. So you want to get outside of yourself with this. And a very simple goal would just be like making money from what you're doing. You could just have fun and it's not going to do anything. You're not going to get anywhere. If you start wondering about how to monetize your fun, you can start creating a strategy and working on a goal to like making money with your, art or your fun creative endeavor. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope that you guys learned something. Follow me on Twitch, bhealer21. Subscribe to me on YouTube. I'm putting out more videos. We have a Discord. If you want to chat, let's welcome. And yeah. I'll see you next time.